I already know. The internet has had their way with you. Before we hop in this review of chapter 310 of My Hero Academia, please do me a favor and leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, let's get into it. What's up guys, I got the pencil here and here we are to review chapter 310 of My Hero Academia, aka Mentor and Pupil. Alright, so let's get into it. Now, here's the thing. This chapter is honestly pretty simple. It opens up with Midoriya saving somebody, one of the monster-looking... It's more racism, gosh darn it, but it's good examples of racism. Like I said, I like Horikoshi's world. This poor girl who just decided to hide out at her home for a little bit too long is getting harassed by these vigilantes that are trying to protect their place because they just see her as a giant monster because it's dark in the rain and she's gigantic. So I honestly don't blame her for that. She's literally humongous and looks very, very dangerous, especially late at night with no context, and considering how crazy the world is, I can't even be mad at them. Now, if we're also being real, I don't know, Midoriya looks weird in that panel, but regardless of that, Midoriya comes in, he pulls off the save, and then All Might goes to take the girl away to UA, I suppose. And the thing is, I don't think she's fitting in that car. Like, unless she can shrink further. Is that her being gigantic from the start? Like, it looks like she's coming around a building, and she's, like, towering over people. So I guess she can shrink and grow. I guess that's her quirk. I don't know why she squeaks, but hey, that's neither here nor there. And then we see All Might, like, Yo, it's basically like I just read fan art, bro. All Might literally just handed Midoriya some dinner or some lunch or whatever. I think it's dinner because it's nighttime. So come on now, bro. Like, it's no longer a meme. Horikoshi, you might as well. Did he throw it in there? I'm not sure if he's thrown it into the manga yet, but he might as well. And man, Midoriya looks like such a meme with like the little like line drawn eyes. I'm not gonna lie. He looks so like, I like the design when it's not that. When it's not the when it's not the All Might eyes, ironically enough. Like, All Might eyes work for him, but they usually, when they go like these half lidded, like literally just white lines, it looks kind of off to me. But I understand. It's an artistic choice, so I can't really blame him for that. Then we see that Danjaburo, I think that's how you say his name, Danjaburo. I'm gonna rock with that. Danjaburo, he basically went with the idea that, wow, it's like you're in a time machine, buddy. You're in a land of rampant vigilantism and all the trouble caused by All for One and Shigaraki. Sucks to suck, kid. And like, I get it, but like, I would have preferred to see that time. No, I'm kidding. I think that is the time. I wonder if he's referring to the time of vigilantes. I'm not sure if he's alive by that point, because rampant vigilantism. I'm not sure when vigilantes takes place, but honestly, it's a very interesting thing for me. But honestly, and yo, another thing, I love the transition from present to past. Like, the way the panel is white in the upper corner and then fades into the black to signify the past. Nice. Weird thing though. So this chapter basically goes into the idea of the first two One for All users and how they need to come and help Midoriya, just like they came and helped All for One's younger brother in that time of chaos. And why here? I don't know. Like, I feel like this is just me, and that's the end of the chapter, by the way. They're all just saying we're going full speed ahead now, and Midoriya's taking a munch, and he's getting ready to do it. But my thing is, like, why now? Like, I don't get it. Like, why wasn't this? See, I keep asking, why didn't this happen when Midoriya was still just asleep? Like, why do we not keep flashing back to it? I think this is only like the second. No, this is the pretty much first flashback, but that was like a few chapters ago. Why not just throw this in? Especially since what I thought was going to happen when we started talking about like the first two One for All users, I thought we were going to have like a little flashback chapter going to that event, because honestly, it feels like it'd be super important. It's the first transition of One for All to somebody else. But no, it sort of just gets told to us with like slight flashbacks within flashbacks, and that's it. And I know you may be like, wait, so you don't like it when we cut away, but you want them to cut away to something else? I know, yeah. But the thing is, I'm strange. I typically won't mind cutaways or like going to somewhere else, even in the middle of a narrative. Considering we actually aren't really in the middle of a narrative, we're just in the middle of the present time right now with Midoriya. So I understand why Horikoshi cuts it back here, because he basically built in cutback time since Midoriya's eating. So he may just be thinking back to this, or he will technically no. This is just a conversation that Midoriya never had. So I guess this is just a flashback, literally just for the audience. But the thing that gets me here is that, like, it establishes something about these first two One for All users, establishes some character, but like it's not interesting enough or long enough, in fact, that I feel like it shouldn't have just been tagged on to the end of the One for All dream. Like, why not? I would kind of just like to stay in the present for a while. I know we keep hopping back and forth between present and past, and like, I know that's Horikoshi's writing style. Horikoshi and staying in one place are two things that don't typically go together, and I understand that. But the thing is, at this point, it's like, this is stuff that didn't even happen that long ago. At least in terms of, at least it's a relative time. I'm not sure how long it took for Midoriya to wake up out the coma and leave. But actually, no, this did take place months ago because we had a little time skip. Or did it? I'm legitimately a little bit off-put, a little bit confuzzled. But regardless of that, it's like, it's cool to see the first two One For All users finally aligning with Midoriya. But considering they already aligned with Midoriya forever ago, at least according to the dream, considering this flashback where the first One For All users convinces the first and second to align with Midoriya, it's so quick. Like, why not just throw this in? This felt like it was supposed to be more. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, in this moment, I feel like we were supposed to have maybe like a little bit more elaboration. Like, literally only one of them gets to speak too. Like, I don't even think, oh wait, no, both of them speak, but in terms of, yeah, both of them speak, so never mind, they both speak, they both get a little bit of characterization. We don't even know their names, do we get their names? I don't even think we get their names. Yoichi would know, right? To stop your brother, we sacrifice. Yeah, I don't know. We don't get their names. This is just like, they're two more quirks, which is fine. That's the thing. This is fine. It's okay. And speaking of okay, let's talk about, now, I still just want to finish up this point real quick. So yeah, the only issue I really have with this flashback being here and now is not the flashback itself, not the contents of the flashback itself. It's just wondering about its placement. Horikoshi is very, very good at placing things randomly sometimes. There are moments in the series where I'm fine where we cut away to other characters and stuff like that. But this one, I'm like, why wasn't it tagged on? Especially since this isn't that long. Like, this is, let me see how long this flashback is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pages. Really, 7.5. So, like, you couldn't have just thrown that on at the end of the dream, especially considering this conversation didn't take that long. But whatever, that's just me being weird with placement stuff. I know this is just how Horikoshi writes, so I'll try to be kinder when because the thing is, I'm trying to adapt my, like, rating system / scaling system / my own perceived thinking of a series based on what I believe the author's intent is behind the series and how it will affect the series itself. So, like, I'm trying to adapt to, like, how Horikoshi writes, which is a very, very, like, hodgepodge things where sometimes he'll go straight for a long shot and then sometimes he'll do this back and forth thing that he's doing right now. So I'm just going to be kinder to him on that. Let's move on to the next big thing, which honestly, in my mind, is the idea that these two were from the age of, like, rampant chaos, like insane chaos. And I like that. I honestly want to see that era themselves rather than just not see that era themselves. I want us to see that era in terms of peak All For One, because we keep hearing about it and it sounds really, really cool, but we never get to see it. It's a lot of tell, don't show. I don't think in a visual medium like a manga, you can really let that slide, especially considering how fond Horikoshi is of flashbacks. Like, I mean, if I'm being real, I wouldn't even mind if before this arc began, we just gotta, due to the state of the world, we got a flashback to that era. And, like, Midoriya's coma was him reliving the lives of the previous One For All users, even just snippets, like a chapter each. It would have been cool in my mind, but hey, whatever. That's just me wanting more character stuff and learning more about the world. I know that's not exactly the point, but let's talk about something that's actually okay. Midoriya. Now, I was a few reviews back, I was super excited to where I thought Horikoshi was taking Midoriya's character. You remember the panel where Midoriya was looking all sad and tired and drained? Yeah, a whole ton of us got excited over that. Or maybe not a whole ton of us, but at least I know I got excited over that. I was like, oh shoot, Midoriya's changing. He's having realistic reactions to the world. Finally, he's growing out of the symbol character role. But now, like, unless this is like build up to a very, very, very harsh flip back once Shigaraki doesn't, like, get saved, I feel like we're just virtue signaling Midoriya as, like, the perfect symbol hero character again and again and again. Like, he's apparently not drained at all. He still has this whole big happy energy, big old grin. Sure, he's wearing the mask, but he's still, like, I mean, that's the thing. That's the good thing about a symbol character. He's still Midoriya. He's still happy, high energy, wonderful, great hero man, and that's wonderful. It's also just boring. Like, maybe that's just because it's what I wanted. That's the weird thing. I've got to judge Midoriya on what he's supposed to be rather than what I would like him to be. I would like Midoriya to be a character, not so much a theme or moral vehicle. Like, you can tell a story of heroism and, like, make the main character who's in it struggle. In fact, that makes it more interesting when we see our characters struggle to keep up their ideals and keep up their morals and still like succeed after the fact. Like if they don't show fatigue, if it feels like they're inhuman in a sense, then I feel like the message doesn't hit as hard. At least not for me. Like I feel connected to other main characters and just other characters in general when I see them struggle, when I see them go through pain, when I see them harshly like look back on the world they're doing. But considering Midoriya at the moment, he's just still the same bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. It's literally as the guys say. Let me see, what does he say? You really think the kid will save the day? Like, and then the One For All user has no doubt about it. Yeah, Midoriya's totally gonna save the day. And the thing is, it's like it's weird, right? Because like I hope he does, and I assume he will. But like at least trick me, like play me a little bit, right? Like you don't have to just constantly tell me Midoriya's gonna save Shigaraki, Midoriya's gonna do it, Midoriya's gonna be a high energy perfect hero. I get it, but you could have gone down a little bit of suffering, a little route. And that's the thing, I'm not talking about physical suffering, because Midoriya's gone through a ton of physical suffering. Here's the thing though, it doesn't even matter, at least not in my mind, because it always gets written off as something that's supposed to be put into the background that we're supposed to worry about, but it doesn't even matter. We've all come to the agreement, we all come to the consensus. If Midoriya gets hurt, there's always going to be an answer out of it. Whether it be some write-off because of quirk nonsense or his body getting strong, which is fine. I actually very, very much like his body getting stronger, because it makes sense. Your body grows and reacts to certain things, so soon he'll have access to 100%. But enough physical suffering, especially since 99.9% of the time, unlike with Aizawa, unlike with any characters that get permanent scars that we can actually see, yeah, Midoriya doesn't have any of those. We can almost never see Midoriya's scars because he's always either covering them with gloves or covering them with his arms, or something like that. They're never visible. So, like, we know he's gone through enough physical suffering. Let him suffer mentally. Let him struggle a bit. Like, the closest thing we got to that was last chapter when he said, I don't want anyone else to die, or I don't want anyone else to get hurt. And I like that because it means he's reflecting on it. But at the same time, it's like those quick bursts. Like, I want Midoriya almost like more characterized, because he's okay. He's kind of basic, and I would have, and that's fine. And that's fine. That's the thing. I can't necessarily say it's bad. I can't say any character being basic is bad. Every single character has to serve their function in the narrative first and be a character second. But like, he's our main character. I would prefer if he was just as interesting as a character like Endeavor, a character like Hawks, heck, a character like Bakugo. I wish he was as interesting and as multi-layered as that. But while he had glimpses of it, while we had tastes of an interesting Midoriya, it kind of just like, it got itself up out of here. Like, what can I say? And that's fine. It's okay. But like, I don't want him to be okay. I want him to be great. But I already know a lot of people think Midoriya is great already, and don't let my thoughts change you on that. I'm just telling you what I think, because he's kind of boring, especially in comparison to a lot of his modern new gen main character contemporaries. He's one of the most bland. At least to me. I don't know. I'm not finding like Midoriya this great character. I find Midoriya a great symbol of heroism. But you can be a great symbol of heroism and moral justice and moral paragons while being an interesting character too. Like, the two aren't mutually exclusive. In fact, they work better when they're mutually intertwined, because it makes us see like the human experience can be reflected in work and then brought out. So I love things like Jujutsu Kaisen. So I love, honestly, things like Dragon Ball. So I love things like Naruto. Like, seeing these characters go through human things while on a completely different scale that we could never imagine is what makes me enjoy those narratives and makes me enjoy those characters. And it makes me enjoy characters inside of My Hero Academia too. Like, I super enjoy Endeavor. I super enjoy Hawks. I super enjoy Bakugo. I super enjoy even characters who are kind of like Midoriya, like Kirishima and Fat Gum, because they go through stuff. It feels like they're palpable characters. Like, they aren't locked into this I need to be a symbol that's going to save everyone narrative. So they're allowed to flexible. Horikoshi's allowed to do things with them in terms of not just physical, but also mental suffering and hang-ups and stuff like that. Midoriya kind of can't have those. And it's kind of, I can't say it's getting boring or repetitive, but it's kind of getting boring or repetitive, at least for me. But I understand if everyone else likes this, and that's pretty much the end of the chapter. Nothing really happens. We just see Midoriya save some random girl that everyone's gonna go wild for on the internet. I bet. Girl never got a name, but they'll figure it out. And we see the second and third One For All users are finally ready to help out Midoriya. So cool. I'm excited. Can't wait to see. Hopefully things get more interesting soon enough. It's a really solid chapter. I 6 to 7 out of 10. Like, I'm telling y'all, I'll be nicer, but considering nothing happens, at least nothing of precedence, or at least something that I guess something happens. Like, we get revealed that the second and third are actually going to work with Midoriya, so that's cool. But other than that, yeah, you know what, I'll give it like an 8. An 8 off of that, because it's important. And like, this is Horikoshi's storytelling, so I can't really critique him on that, because that's just how he wants to write his narrative. Even if I don't like it, which would make me drop it lower, that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just how he writes, and I'm just not a fan of it. Just still a little bit bored with Midoriya. Like, I feel like all the hype I had a few weeks ago has like run out. Like, I don't think Midoriya is gonna be. The only thing I'm gonna like about Midoriya is when he gets into his next fight and he's still once again analytical. That's what I like. I like where Midoriya is growing as like a combatant, but not so much how he's growing as a character. And while those two things are usually intertwined, I feel like in this case it's a little bit too hard split for me. And yeah, it's always good to see the examples of the society. Yeah, so this is an 8. This is an 8. I like seeing examples of the racism in the society and how people automatically assume she was a monster because of the way she looked, and how that affects the world and how the vigilantes are running about. So yeah, the world in this chapter, fire. The eluded world that we supposedly heard about from both Danjaburo and the second and third one for all users, fire. I like hearing about all that. Other than that though, like, I like parts of this chapter, but I'm also like, that's the thing, I don't dislike any parts of this chapter. I just dislike the implications they have on the rest of the narrative and on some of the characters, mainly the main character. That's it. I've been going on for too long. Please tell me what you think in the comment section down below. Do you guys, here's the question for y'all. Do you guys think that Midoriya should have gone through some sort of like mental hang-up? Should he be thinking about it more? Should he be thinking about like how hard his life has become, or how strange things are now, and like he should be worrying about it and actually reacting to it? Or do you think this sort of detached mental hero only mindset is better? Tell me what you guys think. I actually want to hear that, because this is something I've been thinking about for a while. But please tell me in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off.